Okay, let's do this. Hi, I'm Brent Whistler, founder of the Bootstrap Factory, makers of the BuildRunKit. Today, I want to show you Goldilocks CRM, one of the programs that's included in your BuildRunKit subscription. So here we are on our page, goldilockscrm.com. And actually, if I went around, I'd say the best place to learn about it is right on the landing page. We've got some pretty um, robust information here just as a reference for you to go back to later. And let's get right in. We're going to sign in, and my login is saved. And you'll see you're going to think we're lazy because we have so many tasks that are overdue. But the fact is, this is our training and demo data set, so it should be no surprise. So what is a CRM? A CRM is a customer relationship management software, and it's kind of like a common setup that we have as compared to other CRM makers. We have a few of the basics that you would expect, like contacts, deals, which deals are opportunities. If somebody calls me and says, "Oh, I want to buy product," okay, I put a deal in for that product. And then the pipeline is where I can track the status of those sales processes. And tasks and activities, of course, are the things that I um, do or plan to do with my contacts. So let's just jump into the dashboard. I think we have one of the most robust dashboards. I really get a good look at my business if I'm in the sales organization or any part of the company that works with customers. So I can see, for example, that I have 13 active deals here in the pipeline with a value of $2,430. We'll look at a little bit more at that later. We have a look at what our active deals are and our win rate. We've got to look into what some of our tasks are, particularly the overdue ones in this case. And we can get a kind of a bead on like a feed really on our recent activity. And here is a really concise look at where our deals are in the sales process. We have a few deals that are just in the very beginning discovery phases, all the way up to we have some that we've actually lost, and a few that we've won, and some that are in negotiation. So here's a look at some of our recent deals and our latest context. So it's a pretty complete, concise view into your business. But let's go into more details. So our contact, without drilling in at all, I see quite a bit of information about my contacts, and I can also look at them by tag. These tags are customizable. So let's look at our prospects. Okay, just have one prospect right now, Emily Chin. I can click into her and get a holistic view of our business. I know what deals that we have going. Right now, we got a $45,000 data flow mobile app deal. That's not real, it's just demo data. I wish I had a $45,000 deal pending with her. And we have we had scheduled a discovery call with her, so we have a record of that here. Um, let's go ahead and leave the contacts area. Well, one more thing that I want to look at here is just the fact that I could generate a report based on the view I'm looking at. So that's uh, kind of cool. And later on, when we look at settings, I'll show you how you can export company contacts, and that way you can use them with your marketing automation software to keep your list up to date. Now on to deals. I love our deal screen because it really gives me a feel for where my business is at, and and you can just sort of get a look here. I get again a lot of information without even drilling into a particular deal. Um, and if I do drill in, I'll see who the related contacts are in the deal. I can attach files to the deal, which may be in whatever you need uh, in your sales process, contracts or brochures or information that you've shared with the customer or whatever's relevant to the deal. And you can add activities planned to make just make a note or whatever phone call or a meeting that you have planned. You can add it here. And so let's zoom back out here. We can also kind of um, let's look at just our closed lost deals. These are deals that didn't pan out for whatever reason. And so maybe I want to post process those and do something about that. It's pretty nice to be able to just look at whatever, you know, zoom in on whatever step in the sales process I want to. So to the back to the pipeline itself, this is really the pretty much the same information that we just viewed in the deals screen, but it's more of a Kanban view where we actually can visualize the pipeline. And this is really powerful, just to give me a view into where I'm at and where I need to focus. And so, what else do I want to say here? Our pipeline settings, if you have access to do so for your workspace, you can customize the sales process. And this is critical because every company has a different way that they guide their contacts through the sales process. And we do have a default pipeline set up, and I think this is it. But if I wanted to add additional stages or change the names of the stages or the colors, that I could do that here to mirror what I do for my business. Or of course, I can restore the defaults. So let's cancel out of that because I don't want to make any changes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on tasks. Tasks are tasks. We know we have some pending and some that are overdue. In this case, I think maybe all of our tasks are overdue because our data is a little bit older. Our activities, we don't actually have any in this demo data, but this would be where I could see like the just all of the activity that's gone on in my sales organization. So last thing I want to talk about here, or well, one thing I want to talk about here is just a quick word about workspaces. Depending on how you organize information, you may want to, for example, create a workspace for each salesperson or sales team because the other teams probably don't need to see their information. In some companies, it's just overwhelm, and in some, it's actually just a violation of boundaries or whatever. So you can actually set up workspaces so that you only see the information that you're given access to. And in my case, you can see that I have what's like 5 or 6 different data sets that I can look at. So that's pretty cool to honor the least privilege and the flexibility of visibility to information that most companies have. So if we go to settings, well, let's see, what do I want to look at here? Change to dark theme. Actually, that does feel good because I've been looking at a light screen all day. I can change the language to right now just between English and Spanish. And actually, we're not promoting that we offer Spanish yet because we're not finished. But if you want to change to Spanish, you can. Um, Going to settings here. This is where I can edit my workspace and add members to it. And all, but one thing I particularly wanted to focus on here is a couple things. Tags. Those tags that you see on contacts, um, I don't own this workspace, so I can't modify the tags. The owner of the workspace could add like different tags so that we can search for our customers in an organized way. For example, they might add a spring campaign as a tag, and then I could go and tag my contacts for the spring campaign, and then I could go over here and export my my contacts by tags, and that's powerful because now I can take that to Constant Contact or Mailchimp or wherever, and send my campaigns out. Pipeline we already discussed. Web forms are really neat because these are little forms that I can create. And then, so if you can imagine, let's see if I can just create using mostly defaults. What did I have to fill in here? Well, I don't want to take up a lot of time here. Um, just want to do the minimum. Okay, and so now that I have uh, this web form, I can actually put this on my website so that when I get contacts from my customers, they go right into my CRM. So here is what this looks like, just that I created in a few seconds. So now this web form, I can go grab this embed code and then I can put this on my website or give it to my IT person to put on my website. And that way, and instead of just having a dead contact form that sends an email, I actually have a form that will put the contact right into my CRM and also contact me about it. And so that really helps and saves on data entry, especially if you have a busy contact page. And so that's I think that's all I wanted to say about CRM. And you have a good evening.